so more people here call it Mumbai than Bombay. All right, that's interesting. Okay, I was over there having dinner, and I went to a restaurant, and there was a sign that read, Mumbai is the location, Bombay is the emotion. Arriba, I thought that was amazing. I was like, that is great. Bombay is the emotion. But we can still call it Mumbai. They call themselves Mumbaikers now. That's just how it goes, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful place. So my dad grew up. I spent a lot of time there. It's just been an amazing time. So Seema from Mumbai, who calls herself that, if you've seen the show, I actually do the audio description for the program. So what I mean by that is, if you go onto Netflix and you go into the settings and you turn on audio description, you will hear my voice narrate Indian matchmaking. Now it's hard to say, Mom, I made it, when I have to tell the crowd to go into the settings to hear my voice, right? It's not like I'm a star on that show, I'm already married. But it is amazing, it's great, it's inclusive, people who cannot quite, see what's going on, they can hear me describe the show. And in the show, Seema Auntie is charged with getting Indians together. That's her whole thing. She's a matchmaker, she lives in Mumbai, and her whole goal is to get people together, and that's what the show focuses on. And if you've seen the show, you know she is correct about 0% of the time. None of her matches ever works out. Never. There's never an episode of that show that ever works out. It's amazing. I cannot believe this is like watching SportsCenter, and here's all the shots that Steph Curry missed last night. Like, why? Here's everything Sachin Tendulkar, he didn't make a score. Like, why in the world would we want to watch a program where somebody is not accomplishing what they were set out to do? And it's amazing. There was this episode where she tries to hook up a vegetarian with a chicken farmer. That was a real episode. I was like, what is she doing right now? I don't think if they are Jain that they are going to go with someone who raises chickens for a living, right? And Seema Auntie is a little bit sexist, right? She's a little bit sexist because whenever men come to her and say, Seema Auntie, this is what I want, and they will give her a litany of things, 11 long, 12 long, all these traits, and she'll just write it down and goes, okay, I'm gonna go find somebody for you. Anytime a woman goes to her and says, I would like X, Y, and Z, what does she say? Betty, you have too many criterias. Right? She says this. She says this every time. It doesn't matter. Even if they say, I want him to have pulse and hair, you have too many criterias. Right? And I love the fact that she takes the word criteria, which is already plural, and she makes it even more plural. And she goes from criteria to criterias to show you how single you really are. And then, she will say this line to all of the ladies on the show. She'll go, Betty, if you get 60, 70% of what you're looking at, it's okay. 60, 70%, Auntie? When is the last time an Indian could bring home a math test with less than 100%? Right? That is crazy. That is not, we don't do 60, 70% here unless it's owning all the motels and hotels in the United States, okay? That's the way that goes. Now, one of the things that I was able to do with the support of the community and beyond is I actually am the only person in history to perform stand-up comedy on all 7 continents. It's something that I was able to do. Now, Bhavik and I were just talking about this, and he's done 4 continents in the last month. That I haven't done. He was in Africa, Asia, North America, and Europe, all in the last month, which is unbelievable. Now, people always want to know, well, how did you do this? Well, North America was very easy. Born here, performing here is very easy. But then I flew to Brisbane, Australia, where my dad's brother's family has lived for 50 years, because they left and went in 2 different directions. Vinay, as I don't call him by his first name, he came to the United States, and Vimal went to Australia, and they've been living there ever since. Now, Australians are probably the best comedy crowds in the world. They have this in common with Indians and Americans. The only thing you have to do to make Australians laugh, or Indians laugh, or Americans laugh, is make fun of the British. Right? Because we all have this in common, that we were all ruled by the British. So we all have this camaraderie against the British. Now, we're allies and all those things, and we've even had an Indian prime minister, right? The mayor of London, they see, and then the prime minister of England, they see. Can you even believe, could you even imagine in 1947, right? Well, not everyone here was alive. Sir, in 1947, could you even imagine that that you could have a prime minister in England that is a Desi man, right? That's just completely mind-blowing. And so I went down there and I'm doing all these British shows because the thing is, to this day, you know, we would listen to the British voice because it just sounds right? It sounds correct. Whether you're white or black or brown, they have this hold on the rest of the world where whatever they say sounds right. Like right now, if I say to you, Auntie, if I say 2 and 2 is 5, we're like, no, it's not. But if I say 2 and 2 is 5, love, you gotta think about it. Right? There's a little bit of like, well, maybe wait a second, maybe they're right. We know they're not right. We know that they're smart. They get a lot of credit for being smart, but they're probably just as smart or just as dumb as the rest of us, right? It's probably a natural distribution, a bell curve like anything else, but we will listen to that voice. And in fact, if you ever want a late checkout from a hotel, use a British voice. It works every time. My friend Azhar Usman and I were in Hyderabad, and our friend Mo Ammer, who's Palestinian, can do a spot-on British accent. So we call down to the front desk. He's in Cairo, and he goes full British on them. And he goes, you know, could you just be a dear and just give us like a 4 p.m. checkout? Because our flight got rerouted through Spain. Just give us like a 4 p.m. checkout. And they did it. They gave us a 4 p.m. checkout. Do you realize how late 4 p.m. is? That is an hour later than the check-in of the next day.
Yeah.
That's how late it is, by the way. And I would do this joke on stage, and then my wife's family came over to me and they said, we're Gujarati, we run hotels. Can you stop telling everyone how to get a late checkout? Okay? Stop telling everyone. Don't give away this secret, okay? You're messing us up. You're messing up our whole business model. We need time to clean the rooms. What are you doing? Don't tell people that. But, you know, I just think that obviously the British are smart, but they're not that smart. After all, they used to send their criminals to Australia. Right? That's not a joke. You know that. This is a smart crowd. You know that. They used to send their criminals to Australia. Which, by the way, if you've been to Australia, you know is a way better place than England. I think if the British were really that smart, they would have gone to Australia and left the criminals in England. That's what they should have done. I don't know what they were thinking. Unbelievable. But I went over there and I did this program called Make Chai Not War. And my friend Azhar Usman, Muslim, obviously, right? Azhar Usman, he and I got together. We've been friends a long time. We opened for Russell Peters in Toronto in 2005. We became fast friends, John, fast friends. Like just right away, we agreed on everything. Favorite movies, favorite music, everything except for the final destination of our souls. Okay, that's the only thing. Final destination of our souls, little bit of a difference. He being Muslim, I being Hindu, but nevertheless, we decided we're going to start this tour because we thought there have been so many troubles between Muslims and Hindus. Maybe if we can laugh together, we can love together, we can live together. Let's do something about it. And so we traveled around the United States, Chicago, DC, New York, LA, all of these places, San Francisco, all of these places, and we performed until the US government got a hold of us. Now, granted, this was under Obama. Now, Obama, with a Muslim name, right? He decided under his State Department to send us to India. Because the US State Department often does this. They will send jazz musicians, stand-up comedians, all these entertainers and artists around the world to endear other countries to the United States while we bomb their neighbors. So we get over there, and luckily, you know, they sent us to India, and they brought us back because it was Obama. I think Trump would have just left us there. Got rid of 3 of them. You know, it would have been like, we were going there, we came back, which was an amazing, amazing thing. And in fact, when the Republicans grilled Hillary Clinton on Capitol Hill, they asked her, they said, did you spend $100,000 sending comedians to India? That was our tour. So we're in the congressional record as having gone over there, except Rand Paul, the senator from Kentucky, he did not call it Make Chai Not War. He mispronounced it. He called it Make Chi Not War. Okay, so it turned into a Chinese tour suddenly, right? Because we have a tendency to talk fast as Americans, right? So when we did all of these interviews and press junkets all over India, we were in Patna, where did we even go? Allahabad, we went all over the south, all of the 4 or 5 southern states, everywhere. Delhi, we were everywhere. And we kept talking fast. We were saying, oh, we have this tour called Make China Not War, Make China Not War. And they wrote it down as Make China War. We thought we're going to start a global conflict if we're not careful. Okay, we're going to slow down. Make Chai Not War. These were huge shows, all right? We had about 1,500 to 2,000 people in each of these shows. Now, Granted, India now just became the world's most populous country. So 1,500 people is like 300 Americans, right? 1,500 Indians is like 300 Americans, all right? That checks out weight-wise too, honestly. Like, we're very thin people compared to the white folks that I know, right? So we're over there doing our thing, and people were very nice. They were very nice to us the whole time. People would come up to us all the time, very welcoming, and they would say things just like Seema Auntie did. They would make things plural. So they came up to Azhar and me and they would say, "Oh, we love your YouTubes. We love your YouTubes, yaar. We love your YouTubes. We love your YouTubes. We love your YouTubes." And it just sounds so personal when you make it plural, right, doctors? Doesn't it seem like you've seen my, like radiology, help me out here, right? It's like, did you see my x-rays? So like, how have you seen my tubes? I don't have any fallopian tubes, that I remember from med school. This part I remember for sure. So we were just amazed by that, but it was very sweet. And then the reverse, because I'm talking about the Chinese. See, just like with the Australians, you make fun of the British. With Indians, you make fun of the Chinese, right? This is what we do. Because you just saw Yamamoto last night threw a complete game for the LA Dodgers. Because he's Japanese. That's how we got it, man. Those guys work hard like Indians. The Japanese work very hard, right? The Thailand, you know that. You're closer to Japan on that side. You know what I'm talking about. They work really hard. If you were Chinese, we would have paid 3-1, he would have crapped out in the third inning, okay? That's different. China stuff doesn't last, okay? Japan stuff lasts. That's what was amazing about what he just did last night. I'm a Dodgers fan. Go Dodgers. I think we got this, which is great. All the more of a cricket crowd possibly here tonight. So it was amazing. The Chinese there in India, we were dining at a restaurant in Bangalore. Love Bangalore. And we thought, okay, we had eaten so much Indian food. Let's switch it up. Let's go to a Chinese restaurant. And I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm in line, and the sign in this Chinese restaurant bathroom, it doesn't read men, because in their language, they don't usually use plurality. There's no plurality, it's all singularity, it's all singular, it's all single, like that. I don't know if it's like the one-child policy or what the reason was, but they had this sign, and instead of reading men, it read man, and it read man. And I took a picture of it, and I was so excited to put it on Facebook and Instagram. When you get excited to share something, you think, oh my gosh, I look great in this dress or this suit, I'm gonna post it up here, and I'm gonna get 100 likes, I already know it, right? So I'm like so excited to put this up on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm gonna make fun of the Chinese. They don't know that it's men, not man. And it's my turn to go in the bathroom, I go inside, there's only one toilet, and I'm like, they're right. It's man. Not men. You can fit only one man in here at a time. They're actually exactly right. The Chinese, man, they're always right. They got it exactly right. It's man, not men. Now, one massive improvement, partially due to Modi, I'll say, is the bathroom situation has greatly changed. So much better than it ever was before. Because the first time I went to India was 1985. My parents, I told you, came here in about 1971, if you take the average. They did not go back for 14 years. It was like a Ram-like Ramayan 14-year exile. Okay. 4 people have read the Ramayan. Okay, all right, so that's good. Shantanu taught you nothing? Come on, all right, look. Read one of the 24,000 shlokas. Okay, so it's amazing how much it has changed, because back in 1985, we had the squat toilets. You remember the squat toilets? Oh my gosh, you had to have, my back can do it now, but you had to learn how to tighten those muscles. Ladies are better at it than men. Center of gravity, y'all are stronger per square inch or whatever else. And my white friends would always say, why do you do yoga? Is it like to get in touch with your inner peace? I'm like, no, it's so that you can squat on those toilets, boy. You gotta hold yourself there. You gotta hold yourself tight, man. We are strong because of those toilets. Because that's actually the way you're supposed to go to the bathroom. You're not supposed to sit, you're supposed to squat. That's actually the way you're supposed to do it. Part of what made us so strong, right? Now it's changed, because we were in West Bengal, and we're going to Durgapur. And the reason you know it's a true story is I can't really pronounce Durgapur, okay? I would pick a city I could pronounce. But we were in Kolkata on our way to Durgapur. It's about a 3 to 4 hour drive. And we're about half an hour from getting there. And I have to go to the bathroom. Really have to go to the bathroom. And I cannot hold it. You know when you have to go to the bathroom so bad, and you're just kind of like sitting and you're shifting in your seat and you're just trying to do everything you can do. It's beyond that. In the van, I'm like full-on Punjabi dancing, okay? I cannot hold it in at all. I'm just like twerking. I don't know what's going on right now. I cannot hold it. So we're already late because we're busy, right? We pull over to the side of like this dhaba, like shops and stores and whatever, and I run outside. And I have to go to the bathroom so bad that I can now speak Hindi. You have to understand that my mom grew up, she was born in Jalandhar, but grew up in Allahabad. Pramod ji and Nati ji, you met my mom, you know, she told you the story. Born in Jalandhar, grew up in Allahabad, Yagraj, now whatever it's called, right? Grew up there, so this is like, she speaks the best Hindi in the world. They say hum and sort of, you know, all that for we and I and those things, like, she really, really speaks top shelf Hindi. I would call it the king's Hindi, but that doesn't land. Okay, she speaks very, very good Hindi. And she was a Hindi professor. So it is a huge disappointment that none of her 3 boys speaks Hindi. We don't. Now, why would we though? Because I told you I was born here in 1976. My brothers were born in 1980. They're fraternal twins. And at the time, the mantra at the time was assimilation. You spoke English, right? We didn't think we were going back ever. Why? But I didn't know I'd be performing for Desis and doing all of these things for all these Indian folks and needing to learn Hindi. So we didn't know it. In fact, my parents both spoke Punjabi, both spoke Hindi, and they spoke English at home. They didn't even speak Hindi at home. They didn't speak Punjabi at home. They spoke English at home to each other. There are only 3 things you will do in your home language if you now speak a different language, right? If you're a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, a businessman, businesswoman, whatever you do, at work all day long, whether you go in, Zoom, whatever it is, you have to speak English, basically, right? You're speaking English all day. But there are 3 things, remnants, holdovers, that you will still do in Hindi or in Gujarati. You will do math in Gujarati. If you have to do quick math, you will still probably do it in Gujarati. You'll be speaking English the whole time, you'll convert over to Gujarati, do the math, and you come back over to English, right? You will still dream in Gujarati. You may still dream in Gujarati. That will still be the case. You will dream in Gujarati. And you will fight in Gujarati. You will for sure fight in Gujarati. Because my parents would fight in Hindi. My dad would look at my mom and say, Hindi mein baat karo, aap Hindi mein baat karo. Like, I need to know what they're saying so that I can learn this language. So I know what they're fighting about. That is the truth. Now, I gotta get out of here, and I want to say that I'm on Instagram at Funny Indian, and it's been amazing to be here with you tonight. But I'll leave you with this, okay? I was single for a long time. I got married when I was 39 years old. I was really late to the game. I'm turning 50. I have a 4-year-old at home. So I'm sure some of you, especially the aunties, have already done the math. How does he have a 4-year-old at home? He's going to be 50 years old. Are you serious? Like, very late to the game. I mean, that's, my back goes out. I can't really do anything. He's like, what's going on? Are you the hunchback of Notre Dame? What is happening with Daddy right now? I'm getting older. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's just the way that it is. But my Nanaji, my mom's dad lived to be 98. He was in Yamunanagar. He was 98. My dad's grandparents were 104. So I've got a long way to go, okay? I'm gonna hopefully, knock on wood, touch wood. I have a long time to hear. I can very easy here because you can see it shining in the light. So that's that. But I was single for a long time. I was so single and so bad with dealing with women that I actually did an entire solo show called No Man's Land about how single I was and how bad I was at this. And I remember I had Russell Peters do the promo with me. And I remember telling him, I'm like, Russell, you should come to my show. You should come. Like Jimmy Obiang came, Riz Ahmed came twice. It was an amazing show, right? It was super fun. Hassan Minhaj later said this was an inspiration for him to do his Homecoming King. It was a super fun show. Monson, you were there. You were there. She helped. For the first time, the show was all right, but then she gave me some feedback. It was actually better. That's the one that's on YouTube. You were with me at that time, a long time ago. I remember telling Russell Peters this. I was like, I'm going to do a one-man show. And Russell goes, who's going to play the man? Russell would later perform at our wedding as a friend, because I would tell people that, and they're like, oh, you hired him? I'm like, no, he came as a friend, performed at our wedding, came early, stayed late, he DJ'd, hopped on the ones and twos, what's a computer, so zeros and ones. He did all of these things at our wedding, which was super amazing. It was just an incredible, incredible thing that happened. And my wife, who's Gujarati, I told you, Harsha, her name is also, there's a Harsha Patel here, right? So where's the Harsha Patel, right? Harsha Mistry, although now she's Harsha Satya. Because Gujaratis, they have the whole thing where they take their father's name. So her name was Harsha Hargobind Mistry. Because her father's name is Hargobind. And he just turned 87, so they got a lot of longevity in their household too, right? So, and her mom is 82, doesn't look at Gujarati women age so well, right? So you just cannot tell. Now,